From Baltimore to
You said it right too. Soft T.
Exactly. From Baltimore to American Idol.
That's crazy, right?
How you gonna just do us like that at the end?
Yo, what up, what up? You are now tuned in to another episode of Mind Your Business. I'm your host, Maceo Tendaji, and this is the show where we give you all exclusive access to entrepreneurs and creatives to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of their day-to-day operations and creative process. And I'm hyped for today's episode because I got my guys coming on the show, my brothers. This dynamic duo, they do a little bit of everything. I'm talking about vocal coaching, mentorship, musicianship, preaching, worship leaders, you name it, they probably do it. We're gonna take you behind the scenes and learn a little bit more about their artist development and how they take artists from having a dream and bringing it into reality. I'm talking about none other than the Dream Launchers, Cornell, Showell, and Jonathan Ball. And we're gonna crash Gabby's recording session. Hey, let's stop talking about it, let's get into it.
Father, he was rich and wise, and he forced my mother late one night. What do they call me?
Yo, what's going on, fellas?
Keep going.
How you feeling?
What's up, man?
Good to see you, good brother. Good, good. What's going on, man? How you? Good, man.
See you, man.
What y'all working on?
Man, Gabby, this is one of Gabby's top songs
Okay.
that people request all the time across the country, called For Women by Nina Simone. She has sung this everywhere from the Black Music Collective for the Grammys Recording Academy Week to touring it with Adam Blackstone all around the country, Los Angeles to New York, the Blue Note here in Baltimore.
Right.
This is a fan favorite
Gotcha,
for the music lovers.
Right.
How you been though, man?
I'm good, man. Look, I'm glad.
This is Stages Music Arts too. So one of the greatest studios to cut these records in.
For sure. So what are some things that you guys are specifically looking for during a recording session?
Somebody who comes in prepared, number one,
Right.
committed, ready to do the work, locked in. Time is money in a studio session.
Right.
So you want to do all your road mapping and planning. So because she's performed this so many times,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like she has a map for this song. So I want somebody to come in like really prepared, know their stuff, can take notes, can be coachable, but like to have fun and not take it so seriously in the studio. You want you want the music to translate through whatever you record.
Right.
That's what I look for, man.
Gotcha,
Somebody have a good
gotcha.
time, prepared, ready to rock,
Right.
ready to learn and be coachable.
Yeah, for sure.
Too, man.
Yeah, I mean, the key is really just capturing that authentic voice.
Right.
You know, artists have to have creative control.
Right.
You know, they don't like to be boxed in.
Facts.
So, you know, you want to be able to put them in a position to win.
Yes.
Right.
You know,
For sure. Yep.
I want you to hear this one part. She's about to hit this crazy,
Okay.
this crazy thing with this note
All
here.
right, let's check it out. Let's get a closer look.
She's about to bring it home right here. So you hear those dynamics that's happening in the song?
Right.
That soul, we road map this out so
Right.
that when she comes into a studio session, it's executed perfectly.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And you have to have a great engineer that knows the levels.
Right.
Gabby's a big singer, so all the levels. If you look at these waves right here on the computer, Evan has
healthy
it so-
waves.
Yeah, they're healthy waves.
Right.
Is that right, Evan?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Nah, shout out to my man Evan. Always holding it down.
This is the end right here, Mason. That's it.
Man, that's crazy.
We got it.
That's wild. I don't even think we could
Gabby
do another
Samone,
take of that.
ladies and gentlemen. Good job. You want to come take a listen?
Yeah.
Hi,
What's up?
Gabby. Good
What's
job.
up, Gabby? How you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks. Yeah, good to see you.
2 takes.
2 takes. That was it.
That was that second. You got to get that second one in.
Let's say one take because the camera.
One take.
One take, Gabby. You already know.
Edit it.
Yeah, right. So, Gabby, tell me, what's it been like working with Dream Launchers?
Man, are we lying or are we telling the truth? No, I'm playing.
You have to.
It's been an experience. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but mainly ups.
Okay.
I've grown a lot since I met them. I met them when I was, 18?
14, little girl. No, I was kidding.
18.
No, she was
I met them when I was 18, and I was just singing. I wasn't trained. I was just doing whatever. And John and Cornell stepped in, and they valued development. They valued development, and they stepped in and they developed me. And I'm still going through development.
Right.
But it's been an amazing journey. There's been so much good that has happened since I met them, and the journey is still going. It's still going, and it's like it's family. It's more than just a business deal. It's family. We've grown to really love each other and respect each other, and and our relationship is really God-fearing. You know, we bring God everywhere we go.
Amen.
So I can't imagine having a better. I can't imagine having anybody else, a different team. So you know,
that's amazing.
Excuse me.
yeah.
So
Get the tissue. Y'all got tissue. Use your shirt.
hey, you gotta put that on the website. So you mentioned development, right? Yeah. What exactly does that consist of? And you know, y'all can chime in as well. What is
I like to hear
artist
Gabby's,
development
because
consist
she's
of?
gone through it.
So when I first started, I was rough. I was rough. Sing, you know, just musically. I wasn't really there musically. And John and Cornell, they're musicians.
Right.
And you know, it consisted of ear training still. Consists of ear training. Just developing my voice, singing properly. You know, I grew up in a church and we squall. We sing, you know, loudly and just and it can damage your voice. So John has taught me how to, you know, sing and where to place certain notes and things like that. It's really important for singers, and he's taught me how to do that. And I feel like I am like learning my voice all over again. The other day, we were just talking about that. The other day we were in a vocal session, and you know, I used to go for broke, just singing, doing whatever. And he said, you know, Gabby's coming back. And one of the songs we did, he said, Gabby's coming back, you know, because I trained you, I developed you to sing correctly, and sometimes that could, you know, stiffen you up, and you could get scared, you know, because you learning all of these things about your voice, and you're learning what can damage your voice. So sometimes I sang scared sometimes.
Right.
And he said Gabby's coming back because I did something that I used to do, you know, without the training, and it was just all over the place. But it's really important to develop your voice, and then but still keep the sauce that you have, you know, what makes you you.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna like add on to that. Like your voice is like stemming from your identity. It's who you are. So I told Gabby I'd never gotten to this with her to change who she was as a vocalist. She was already amazing when I met her. You know what I mean? It was just that polish, and sometimes with that polish you start to sing safe. But we're in the sessions now. It's less coaching and more just encouraging. Like, no, bring that back. Bring who you are back to it. Because that's what really resonates with people. We do all these technicians, we do our thing, really to help bring out what's already there, the best, and capture what's already, the artist already possesses. She's already great. So all we do is just put a little polish on and say, okay, it's okay to still be you. And so in these sessions now America's getting ready to hear and hearing, and the world is hearing who Gabby is. And that's what she deserves. That's what the world deserves, is the artist's true, authentic voice and authentic self.
For sure.
And also, just exercising. He gets on me. So
Tell them what we working on now. What we doing? What's our one goal every session?
so I jump rope through a whole song. Sometimes I sing through the whole song. I'm still getting there.
Right.
But you know, he gets on me like, did you do homework growing up?
Homework.
And you know, I'm getting there.
Because the breath will tell on you if you haven't been doing it. Yeah, so because I've seen you do the jumping jacks and singing, but I know you was up to the jump rope. Now you on the boxing
She's
technique.
getting better with each session. The idea is to have that stamina. People are going to want her to do full 30-minute to an hour, sometimes 90 minutes to 2 hours. We went to see Brandy Carlisle last year. She did a 2.5-hour, almost 3-hour concert. And you talking about night after night after night. And the crowd is going to always pull more from you. They want more and more. And Gabby's one of those kind of artists, you want to give them more. What's up, yo? Let's go. Like, and it's like, and if that breath ain't there, you'll be gassed out by song 2. You know what I mean? And the people be like, what happened? That stamina.
That Baltimore want to come out so much.
Baltimore's going to be, it really comes out of her when she's in her hometown. She's like, go O's!
Thank you. Go O's!
I was like, thank God it was after the song was over. But I'm saying that's an example of like stuff. I'm like,
And just interviews. What is it?
media training.
Media training, yeah.
Right, what we doing
Media
today.
training, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Media training, that's super important because, you know, I grew up in Baltimore and I talk a certain way. I speak a certain
How do we talk in Baltimore? Go ahead and give us a little.
We're not going to do that.
media training.
Mind your business.
We trained for this moment. No? I had to strip away a lot of, you know, my speaking habits. And you know, it still comes out like when I'm around family, things like that. And I'm still learning. But I had to, you know, really just focus on the right things to say and how to say it and just how to speak properly and, you know, things like that.
And that's a part of development. So a lot of times we focus on the creative side, but it's also we serve in the capacity to help unlock the full voice, the core messaging, even what's being said. You know, and that's a key factor because, you know, artists a lot of times they have something to say beyond the music. You know, they can speak. Sometimes it gets them a little trouble. Some artists got a little bit too much to say. But, you know, a part of the development process is just helping really artists discover themselves. So in the self-discovery process, what happens is they're in a place to become an authentic artist. Right. And there are a lot of carbon copies out here. You know, you got artists that really sound the same, look the same, their stylings, their fits. You know, but the key, I think, development was thrown away. We know the history of it. Right. Motown, you know, that machine of just really doing life with an artist, helping them discover their sound, but also their core messaging and their why, to unlock that why. Because if you're not doing it from an informed place, from a place of why, it doesn't have a purpose. So and I think that's what the music industry is missing. Is purpose-driven artists, artists that were really equipped to really change the world, and that's what we believe in all of our artists. We believe that they don't only have mammoth gifts, you know, they really have mammoth messaging, and they have a purpose to unlock.
And that's another thing. They helped me learn how to tell my story, you know, correctly and just they brought that out of me, just telling my story. Because it's, you know, sometimes it's all over the place and sometimes it's like you went through so much in your life, you don't want to tell all of that, but it's important to be, you know, to be vulnerable and
but that's what
to know how to tell it. And it's important to actually know how to tell it because sometimes you can just be talking all over the place and everybody confused, like, okay.
Right. They don't even know what to ask next. They're like, when I go to McDonald's after this?
It's important to write that out and really learn yourself, honestly, because, you know, you can learn yourself just by writing out your story.
Yes.
And that's basically what we've been doing, things like that.
So we're going to transition. I know you got to wrap up this mini session. We're going to transition to our sit-down interview, and then we'll get straight to it. All right. All right, fellas. So look, I appreciate y'all for coming out to Stages. This is like our second home. You know, this is where it all started for us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Day one.
Full circle moment. So before we get into the business of Dream Launchers, I know you guys are both respected musicians in your own right. So if you could just take us through that journey, give us a quick breakdown of your introduction to music and the things that you've been able to accomplish over the years.
Sure, man. Firstly, thanks for having us. This is dope. Where it all began, Dream Launchers Christmas.
Right.
One man show.
Still
did that, man.
Right.
That's history. And thank you for the music compliment as well, man. I cherish that. My start for me was in church. My dad's a pastor, and I grew up, you know, hanging out after the church service was over, and they was frying chicken and all that kind of stuff. And I get my little plate, take it downstairs, hop on an old, you know, piano, Oak Street AME Church, 25th North Howard Street. Sitting downstairs, messing on the piano, and I realized I had creative abilities then. But my parents say they noticed that I had music skills and a knack back when I was like 2 or 3, and they went out and invested in a piano, had it taken to the home. And when I came of age, I started playing more, and I always sang in church because I sang at school and throughout life, I've always had really great music influences, music teachers, professors in college, Dr. Nathan Carter at Morgan. I'm going to say their names, keep their legacies alive. You know what I mean? Roger Holloman at Randallstown High School.
Nice.
You know, and then Penelope Martin in middle school. And they all saw something and all personally invested in me. So I think as life had gone on for me, as I developed as a musician, as an arranger, then a songwriter, I made sure that in my life I gave back to the next generation, and that's what brings me to kind of what we're doing now with Dream Launchers. So that's been my trajectory.
Okay. And Cornell, what about you?
Very, very similar story for me. I grew up in a very iconic and legendary church that is known for having a strong music ministry, but also they put on these annual concerts throughout the year. Shout out to First Apostolic. First App really gave me a platform, a front row seat rather to some of the greatest talent that has ever done music. The likes of John P. Key, Hezekiah Walker, and they were emerging talents at the time.
Wow.
This is at the beginning of their journey in music, and these annual concerts would just really inspire me. And I developed a ear for music at a high level. But for me as an actual musician, I was a late bloomer. I got a late start. I didn't start playing until maybe my senior year, freshman year of college even. Very, very late start in actual playing. But I had an ear. I was dibbling and dabbling, but I didn't take it serious until then. And I was self-taught. I didn't have a lot of formal training. And that journey of learning and just discovering music and the piano and organ. I mean, that journey for me it just showed me the power of music. So I've been able to cultivate my own sound, been able to cultivate a great ear for music at a high level. So that's how it started. Right there in the church, man, hearing the best to ever do it. Every holiday concert, really great times.
Wow. So it's like you had your musical education at church.
Yes.
Like firsthand.
Yeah, and church is the foundation for many of the greats.
Right.
We see your Aretha Franklins, we see your Whitney Houstons, and we see, your great composers and producers and musical directors. They get their beginnings right there in the church. So it was the same for both of us.
Right. Yeah. So Dream Launchers, right? How did that come about, and what is Dream Launchers?
Yeah, for me, Dream Launchers really stems from literal dreams and people confiding their dreams with me, like actual dreams you have when you go to sleep. And I realized that I had this ability to interpret dreams, and it's like a spiritual gift that I really don't advertise, or you don't advertise that kind of thing. It comes from God.
Right.
And then I realized I had the ability to do that for people in the natural, if you will. So people will come to me, and this predates the actual formal setting up of Dream Launchers. But Cornell and I, he mentioned growing up in church and all that, but we met at Morgan State University.
MSU.
And so similarly, people were sharing their dreams and their goals with us around the same time, right around the time pre-COVID-ish, in kind of going into COVID. Actually, I think COVID may have been on the scene by then. We don't like to say the C word, especially here's a backstory behind that word in this space. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Right.
But essentially, folks would come to us and say, "Hey, can you help me manifest a dream?" They're not using that vernacular, but we knew, behind the scenes what that really was. People want to step out of their comfort zones and launch out, which is where you get the launcher from.
Right.
And then as time went on, we realized that dream actually had an acronym.
For sure, and that acronym is our business model. So through the spelling of the word dream, you have development, recording, entertainment, and artist management.
I love that.
And that's that's the life cycle of our business model. Each one of those pillars of our company has its own profit generation and stream of income. And, we see that's really the life cycle of creation of music and the creation and the development of artists.
Right.
Every touch point from discovery to deployment goes through that whole machine, the dream machine.
No, I love that. I didn't know about the acronym.
Yeah.
No, that's dope.
Yeah,
So I also saw on the website, I think you guys have built your business on like 3 pillars of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's interpret, build, and launch.
That's
Can
right.
you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, like we just mentioned, is the interpretation. What is the dream? What does it mean? Sometimes we get dreams in fragments. We don't know what it is. I see a little bit of this. I see me doing a little bit of that, and I'm trying to figure out the pieces. I need to sit with some consultants. That's who we are at that table, at the early phase of like, what is the dream? What needs to be built? Give it all. Throw it all at the wall. Throw it all. We get the whiteboard out. It's like a vision board, and put down everything. Leave out no detail. The more detailed you can give us, the more details you can give us, the better we can interpret that dream. The next phase is that we want to build a team around that. You want to talk a little bit about what that looks like?
Yeah, so you can't do it alone, right? Because the dream is so big.
Right.
You need a team. So what we do is we sit at the table and we identify who are the strategic partners, who are the players that can help this dream manifest from dream to reality.
Right.
So I mean, whether it be a creative director, a producer, a stylist, a media trainer, whatever that may be, a vocal coach, and we're able to sit in a seat as a strategist, as a consultant,
Right.
to really identify who are the players, and then also the blueprint. So you got the team and the blueprint. And then we devise a very, very meticulous strategy to get you from concept to completion.
And then that's where you get to the launch.
Right.
Because you can't launch without that team. So we call it the launch pad is what we call it.
Right.
You know, and anytime we're meeting and you're meeting with that team, those are the folks that are sitting at base to ensure that you have a successful launch. And so we don't want to take on any dreams that isn't really a dream. We challenge all of our clients to actually really dream. It requires you to step outside of your comfort zone. As you heard, we grew up in church, and there's a scripture in the Bible where Jesus told the disciples to launch out into the deep, to go further than you've ever gone before. So oftentimes dreams feel like nightmares as they're being accomplished.
Man, what?
Think about that. So sometimes a dream, that's the irony in dreams, and achieving a dream, taking it from the clouds and making it a reality, sometimes can be a very scary road that most people won't navigate, because they realize that, hey, all that I thought a dream was actually doesn't feel as dreamy as we see like in a Disney movie.
Right. No.
Yeah, and dreams take place when you sleep, right? But the manifestation of that dream, to see it from concept to completion, you got to wake up.
Got to.
And you got to do the work.
Yeah.
So we identify all of the things, the people, and the things that are needed to see that manifest.
Yeah. It sounds like you guys are building the team and building the whole world around your clients or around the artists so that they can be successful.
That's right.
Because, without having that team in place, just speaking for myself, sometimes you can feel lost in the sauce, and it's like, I have all these dreams, all these ambitions, and I'm going here, I'm going there.
No direction.
No direction.
Yeah,
right.
You got to be planted in good soil and have the right people and right elements around you. It's really like agriculture, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, for people.
No, I love that. Yeah. So can we get into the specifics of your offers, right? Say I'm a client, I'm coming to you guys, I'm like, yo, I'm a singer, but I definitely can't sing. But say I was
Launch into the deep, Mace.
Yeah,
You want
I'm
to sing?
launching to the deep.
All right, let me hear a little something. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I'm messing with you. That was your chance.
But no, say I come to you guys, I'm a singer, right? I'm
Okay.
coming to you guys as a client, and I'm saying, hey, I need a team. What can you do for me? What are some of the specific offerings that dream launchers can give a client?
Yeah, so first of all, it starts off with that interpretation session. And in that session, we're able to get a baseline assessment of where you are. Others they're starting from the mud. They're getting it from their ground zero, and others, have a very, very strong foundation. So based on that assessment, we're able to, ascertain really what is that very bespoke and customized process.
That's good.
To get you to where you're trying to get to. So we do an assessment, and also we have, onboarding tools like surveys, interview sessions. We may come, see you, in the field. We may pull up on you performing or in the studio to really just get to do life with you and to really get an assessment as to where you are. And then from there, you know, we walk through our services. And John can speak, you know, he's really, I call him the developer in chief. You know, you know, he's got a blueprint and he does this, you know, so we're able to really kind of go through our product offerings and tailor really what the service is from a development perspective.
That's good. I think without getting ahead of ourselves, the first part of talent development is really discovery and discovering what actually the talent is and what's
Right.
there. So a lot of times in those sessions that Cornell talk about, we just want to hear you do your thing. Like I'll put you on the spot, like, yeah, sing something. for me.
Right.
We actually had a client one time come and sing his whole album right in
Yeah.
the session with us. You know what I mean? He's like, I got another song. I got another one. We was like, go for
Right.
it. Go for
And
it.
you know
We
there,
wanna encourage-
you know then.
Yeah, you know what, like, you
Right.
know, because we feed off of that, just like anything else where there's chemistry, like, oh, I like that person's vibe.
Yeah.
And then as that person's singing it, this is where the interpretation comes in. A lot of times Cornell looking at each other in the meeting like, oh, we know exactly who needs to produce that. You know, it's hard sometimes in the first session to not give everything away.
Right.
Because when you're a dream launcher, you kind of, and you've rinsed and repeated so much, you're like, oh, I know exactly.
Right.
You know, so it's really important that you are customizing and that you are cooking to order. Somebody doesn't want mayonnaise. Somebody doesn't want tomatoes. I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet. But what I'm saying is sometimes people want different things. They want different, you know, services.
Right.
And so you want to have that conversation with them and say, okay, listen to them and then put those right folks around them. I love what you said about sometimes, you know, somebody's coming with a lot more established, a lot more of a foundation. And then someone's coming like, man, I just can sing.
Right.
Or I just want to be able to sing. I want to step away from something that most people recognize or know me for and step into another direction. And so we are as tight of a framework around that to as loose of a framework around that in terms of our parameters based on what that client's needs are and what they're bringing to the table.
Right. So just for the audience, right? If I go to your website, what are some of the offerings that I can see listed there?
You'll see artist development services. And those services range from vocal coaching to performance coaching and development, media training, ear training, music theory, instrument lessons, you know, musical lessons. And then, you know, if someone is already developed and they say, man, I want to get in the studio, they will go to our recording tab. And under that recording tab, they'll be able to book a session, you know, or book a writing session if they want to write a song, or they want production services, or if someone already has some music that they want the dream launchers to hear. Is listen, I got this amazing song that's already produced. I want to get it placed. Man, can you help us walk me through an A&R strategy? So these are all services that can be offered under that arm. Someone may, you know, listen, they've already been in the game for a minute. I want representation. So they come to us, they say, listen, I want somebody to do life with me. I want somebody to be in the trenches with me. Will you manage us? Will you manage me? And we'll make an assessment, and we'll, you know, put a blueprint together and determine if we're a good fit. You know, fit is important.
Right.
A lot of times, you know, people just jump in. But you know, we're on the artist management side. Would you say we're a little picky?
Yeah. Because managing, and I didn't mean to cut you off,
no.
but managing really is like we talked about church earlier. It's like pastoring. I mean, it's like it's a calling. It's not.
Right.
It's not something you just like manage me. It's like okay, you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
you're doing life with your client when you're managing them. You're managing their life. You're managing the expectations and all the things they go through in life, and balancing that with their goals and their career goals and things of that nature. Another service is our events services that we do a lot of contracting for companies, and we could do a lot better. Which is why we're here with you today, and thank you for having us again. Talking about the B2B services, the business-to-business organizations that are reaching out to dream launchers because they need one of our clients that they know we represent, or they want our contractor
Talent buying,
services, talent buying, which is how I really got my start in the industry, was doing a lot of vocal contracting. So folks like Adam Blackstone will reach out and say, hey, man, I need some singers for this. Well, companies will reach out, hey, we need a choir for this particular upcoming event, this nonprofit event or for-profit event or wedding or all those things. And because of our mutual experience in the business, it's a phone call away. And that's how we formed our business, really. We realized that the customer needs were very similar for what people were hitting us up for.
I think that's a great segue to talk about some of the events and some of the accomplishments that Dream Launchers have been able to have over the years. I know you guys have done numerous events.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Some have ended up on the news.
Yeah.
We did the Dream Launchers Christmas here. So
Yeah, that was what kicked it all off.
yeah, so talk to us, just so the audience get a better understanding of like the level.
I want to tell this story.
Go ahead.
So, man, Jonathan, like we said, this is my best friend. Doing life with this brother. I get a call during the pandemic. First of all, I was kind of like out of the music game in a sense, and hadn't really done a lot of stuff in the music space. I'd done some management, production for many years, and took a little break. But I get this call from my brother. He said, "Listen, they're about to cancel Christmas. That COVID is about to cancel Christmas. So let's put something together for the world. Let's get the best in our region together. Let's get them in a studio, and let's curate a Dream Launchers Christmas, a Christmas where we're highlighting some of the best emerging talent in this area. Create some dope content." He introduced me to you, and we came here together and really put together something special. It was the birth of our company.
Right.
It was the birth of really our purpose. And it launched us. It launched our company.
Right.
This one event really launched our company. It was unforgettable that night. That content lives on all of our platforms. And from that experience, man, at the end of it, we got approached by artists and their parents. They said, "Listen, this is the best musical event I've ever been a part of.
Wow.
This is some of the dopest content that we have ever seen and generated. Are you guys going to do more of this?
Right.
Would you be willing to represent me? Would you be able to kind of have some conversations? Can I shoot some things at you? Can you point me in the right direction?" And that kind of it launched us.
Right.
So that I love that story because our company was birthed from doing, not from dreaming.
Right.
So which showed me that others need that. Others need some strategy. Others need some real blueprint to be able to get it out of their head and onto paper and into the world.
And to speak to the power of that, one of the clients that was a part of that particular event, whose mom was here watching us the whole time, spying on us in a good way. Shout out to Miss
Background
Charlotta.
checks, everything.
Background checks, all the things.
That's a good mom.
Was on the bubble of trying to find a management company to represent their daughter. And that young lady's name was Gabby Samone, and we are representing her to this day.
Shout out Gabby.
But it was from Dream Launchers Christmas, and she watched how we carried ourselves as business professionals in a studio session, managing all the artists, running the session, running the studio part of it, running the interviews that were happening, the B-roll, and coordinating with you and the teams and all the different artists and all that. And she said, "I think these are the guys that are going to manage my daughter."
Wow.
And it was that, her witnessing Dream Launchers Christmas, that solidified that in her mind as a parent, that we were qualified as a company to manage her daughter, which ties into some of the other things that we were able to do. At that time, early on, people were reaching out to, a shout out to the NCB. CP.
Yeah.
I always get those initials when I mix them up with the NAACP.
Yeah.
Shout out to them because they were in Lucy Black Entertainment as well. Early on in our start as a company, they gave us a lot of great contracts early on, doing some work, some contracting work to really help fund a lot of the things that we did early on as we started to develop Gabby. But sooner than later in that story, Gabby begins to just take flight, and so. I have a great relationship with Adam Blackstone, who's a Grammy Award and now Emmy and Grammy Award winning music director and producer and all that, to start pulling Gabby in to his ethos, which was humongous because we were able to do some amazing things out on the West Coast. Everything from paying tribute to like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, to Mariah Carey and Lenny Kravitz, to appearances on the J Hud Show, to partnerships with Disney and Southwest. These things, because of Gabby's immense talent and our hard work in developing and cultivating who she is, these are some of the great doors that have been opened. And now because those doors are open, it's like the path has been set for all those that are to come. And so Cornell's a wonderful business strategist. So it's funny if you watch us work, and it's like watching yin and yang in in a certain situation. It's like, I might be focusing on one aspect of things happening creatively with an artist and singing, and Cornell's somewhere in the room talking to, the CEO, and we come back together. It's like, yeah, I met this person. It's like, and this is happening. And so it works really well in tandem as we continue to build the company and build our team.
No, I love that. There's so many different places I can go just from what you guys have said.
Yeah.
But before we even take a deeper dive into the business, I just want to let the audience know about Dream Launchers Christmas and how crazy that was. This man, Jonathan, hit me up. The joint came out Christmas Day. It's Dream Launchers Christmas, right? I think this man hit me up December 21st.
All right, don't tell her. We're going to change the date and post.
We didn't
December 1st.
Was it December 1st?
No. I'm saying it to sound like I'm not like a last minute planner.
No. I'm pretty sure it was December 21st. This man said,
just say Christmas Eve to make it sound even more crazy.
He was like, yo, I got like 6-7 artists, a band. We're going to do content. We're going to do. I'm like,
I probably was really talking like that too back then.
I mean, but it goes back to Cornell's point of doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Built a website.
I love to hear this story in hindsight.
You saw the opportunity to fill a void. Everybody was home. COVID, Christmas was canceled because of COVID, and so many people were home. Even my family, I had them sit down and watch it. I was like, yo, check this out. I made this. We sat down there and watched it, right? So, and a lot of people, from a business standpoint, took advantage of the opportunity that COVID provided. A lot of people shut things down and said, I can't do nothing. It's a pandemic. I'm staying in the house. But you guys took the opportunity to step out there and put everybody on. That was just a crazy, crazy experience. It really tested me.
We're going to shout you out real quick, though, bro.
Man, I appreciate
the
that.
way that you seamlessly, somebody who's watching that would believe there had to be an 8-member crew because of your strategy on how to capture it. When I watch it, I have to remind myself, and Cornell and I, we at least twice every other month, we're like, yo, Dream Launchers Christmas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it just comes up, or we're showing it to someone.
Right.
And I remember gathering my family around and we streamed it and we played it and it was like watching something syndicated like on a network.
Right.
How clean it was.
4K, man, you turned around 4K assets, 1080p assets,
And then you wipe
Sync
the entire
audio.
hard drive clean because I can't find any of those videos. So we need to talk after this.
I still got it. They on a cold storage.
Okay, good. I want to say because that's a calling card. That's a business card.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that's
got it.
fire. You did a tremendous job.
I appreciate that.
And that's why we're working with you to this day.
Yeah.
Shout out to Iconic, man.
Thank you so much. But yeah, so going back, I want to get into the business, right? Because this is Mind Your Business, right? So I want to talk to people about the business side of the music industry and how is Dream Launchers helping artists and educating them about that.
Yeah, so man, the music industry is the wild, wild west, right? It's changing every day. Technology has really lowered the barrier to entry for artists to come and step into the industry. Back in the day, this recording studio, it probably would have looked similarly, but the technology behind it was very different. The process, the budget, the equipment, the time to create records. It was a much longer process. So with the advance of technology, it's truncated that process. So the benefit of that is we can go further and faster, right? But what it also has done, it has lowered the valuation because back in the day it took longer. So that means, you valued it differently.
Right.
So because of that, the valuation of music, what valuation do we attribute to the art? Art is so subjective. But we still value the art, right? So we value the artist and we value the art. So it's an ever evolving and changing business that honestly, a lot of folks, I've literally heard some of the greatest record executives on podcasts say no one knows what they're doing. You know, we don't know. Streaming has changed the game. AI is changing the game.
Right.
You know, so what our job is of course to always have our ear to the ground, to the streets, to understand. Okay, you have this emerging technology, but how do we keep the process pure? How do we keep the art coming out from a very pure place, from a very authentic place, and doing it and enjoying the process, having fun during the process, but now we sit at this table and we devise a strategy. How do we monetize the content?
Right.
How do we take advantage of the art platforms, streaming platforms, digital NFTs, all of the things, all of the streams that are available to us to make money from music, publishing. Those are not changing. Those are static.
Right.
But the money's different. The money's not really money you know. You know, so you get paid 0.0004389 cent
Right.
on a stream, you know, and you know it would literally take billions of streams to maybe even recruit what you spent.
Right.
You know, if you really did it from a thoughtful place, if you took care of everyone that's, you know, involved, if you honored rates and you know, you didn't just exploit.
Right.
And that's the other thing about our company. This music business is sometimes done from a very it's from a place of just exploitation.
Right.
And we hate that, you know. So we're very honoring of our contractors. We like to, and then we also like to partner a lot, so that there's equity, there's skin in the game on all fronts. Everyone will benefit from the release of the product.
Right.
So that's kind of like I would say, you know, that's really the heart behind of how we do business in an ever changing, you know, business context.
Right. Right.
I love that, especially the purity part, because at the end of the day, the two leading industries that are at the root of this business is technology and service. So as long as you are able to pivot to what the newer, and Cornell is really up on, like the newer technologies, and you're still providing the service, at the end of the day, people want to be engaged. And so you got to keep your eye on the ball. At the end of the day, we're still trying to get music to people.
Right.
We're still trying to get a message to people. Whatever the new platform is, whatever the quick way is, I do agree it's oversaturated. The most authentic, most pure, genuine forms that can be communicated in the right platform, and provide that service to people are the people who win. And you got to do, and the thing is, you got to do it in high volumes, quantity and quality. It's very, very important. So this is not a game to get involved in if you're not prepared to be consistent, if you're not prepared to be committed. Content really is king, but not just to just say it that way.
Right.
But good content, steady, consistent content. But this is a people business, is the point that I'm trying to make. So while we're focusing, I think it's a both, and in terms of just like the product, services, technology, and all that. But it's like, keep your eye on the ball. What's your message to the people? A lot of times with us, with our artists, we're always pushing, and this is a common thing that all artists experience for the most part. I would say 90% of artists are really self-conscious, you know, because they're putting their whole life out there. It's very vulnerable. And so to take all that and to shove it into a machine and then tell them this is a service to people, you know what I mean, can feel very oxymoronic and paradoxical. But at the same time, it's like, nah, this is like, once you find that voice, and yeah, you might be in a machine to be like a person who could play ball in the neighborhood. Then they play under the whistle, and it's like, no, this ain't the same. Like, you know what I mean? That's not a foul. That's, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, no, it is. You know what I mean? You're under the whistle. You know, but you play your game. Like, play your game. Sing your song. Connect. What's your message? The same thing you would say on the bus or on the corner. Like, say that in this portal. Say this on TikTok. Say that on Instagram. Go live. You would say it in a room with us, you know what I'm saying? And you confident, you chill, and you swagged out. You know, people sing different in the shower than they do in the studio. You feel me? So in that situation, it's the same thing. Like, find the right platform. You know what I mean? Be up on everything that's out, that's new, whatever. But make sure that you're on it, that you're connecting, and remember, there's somebody else on the other side of that. The other day I was on TikTok Live and I was watching an artist who was on there and they were killing, but they was just chilling on their porch and they were like, what songs y'all want me to sing? And they had like their Bluetooth speaker set up and they were taking requests from the TikTok Live.
Wow.
And the music, the Bluetooth was whack. You know what I mean? It wasn't, the beat wasn't banging. It was like little ping, ping, ping. You know? And she was singing over top of it, doing all her little stuff over it. And I was like, and the numbers were steadily rising.
Right.
And people were like, sing this next, take my request.
Yeah.
And she has a huge following because she's connecting with people on a new platform. But she did kept her eye on the ball with the
Right.
And she's using what she had.
Right.
Use what you have in your hand.
It's not what you have, it's how you use it. You know, and you know, if you maximize the tools that are available to you, you may not have the ability to record in a state-of-the-art studio like we're sitting in right now.
Shout out to Stages.
You know, but like I said, the barrier to entry is much lower with the advancement of technology. You can record at a high level right in your bedroom.
Right.
You know, and
Billie Eilish.
yeah, you know, you know, and it's, you know, it's unfortunately, and I don't want to go too crazy. No, I don't want to get blacklisted from the industry, but unfortunately, you know, the technology has made it easier to produce, but it's also some of the technology's been easier to exploit.
Right.
You know,
Right.
because it's like now it's a volume game, it's a market share game.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even about. I mean, if you look at it, like 80 to 90% of, you know, content released, you know, is not even seeing 100, you know, streams.
Right.
You know, and you don't even get paid on some of these platforms until you eclipse a certain number, right? So it's like, as an artist, how does that make you feel? You spent your own hard-earned money in maybe another industry, and you believed in your art, and then you release it to the world, and you can't even get paid from it. And it's earning. It is earning money though.
Right.
But you can't really even get paid from it. Algorithms may be suppressing your music. There's so many different things that can potentially discourage an artist. So sometimes we're sitting in a seat with an artist that really is just drained, but they're dope.
Right.
You know, so how do we inspire them to keep on creating? How do we inspire them to keep them in the game?
Right.
You know, that may not make sense.
And it's rules to the game. It is a pay to play. So at some point when we see that something's hot as an executive, as a leader of a sphere,
Make
of a
the
sector,
investment.
it's like these people who are in these industries that may be dilapidated now, like labels that are folding and things like that, they're like, I got to find another way to make money. Let me hop in this DSP world. Let me hop on Instagram and start making it where you have to get monetized or, you know, create all these things that, you know, prevent, to Cornell's point, people who are super dope to really get out there. They're going to start gatekeeping in some of those newer environments. It starts happening. It's like, oh, they making money over there. All right, I want a piece of that action. Because there ain't no money coming to this particular label anymore. Everybody's on TikTok. Cool. All right, that's where I'm going to go and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And so you're right. The artist, it becomes still payola. Back in the day, you had to grease the DJ's palms. Now it's TikTok. It's whoever, you know what I mean? It could be, I'm not going to name no names on here. But what I'm saying,
Influencers.
It's palms that are out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he said, it's the same game, different turf. Remember back in back when the Street Fighter and all those fighting games were out back in the day,
Right.
and you could choose the territory where you want to fight at.
Yeah.
The fight is still going to be the fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why I say, if you're not really called to this, you know what I mean? I wouldn't play around in the industry. When you say, like, what do you do when you get discouraged? You know, how do you motivate an artist when you tell them Santa Claus isn't, you know, hopefully there's no little kids watching this, but when you tell them Santa Claus is not real, you understand what I'm saying? Sorry. He's
not coming to town.
There's no button.
He's not coming to town.
There's no button that makes you famous.
When I found out, I ruined it for all my siblings. Like, yo, there's no Santa Claus, yo. Yo, mom, the gifts in the van, yo. You know what I'm saying? So
That was me. I
That
was
was
the same way.
yeah. I
Yep.
ruined it for everybody. I was the oldest sibling. I said, nah. So that's how I feel about the industry. You got to let people know what the game is when they come into it. Our job is to sit down with the artist or the client and say, here are the current rules. You can always be a rule bender, a rule breaker, but you got to know what the game is
Right.
to manipulate, to change. Or you got to say, okay, I see what the algorithm is doing. Let me train my algorithm.
Right.
Let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me find other
Feed
ways.
the machine.
And what I love about us working together is that we don't feel like there's any limits on our company. So the reason why we did the Dream Launchers Christmas, I was like, I'm not waiting for a network to call me.
Right.
NBC's not going to randomly call me like, hey, there are artists in Maryland and you want to, it's not going to happen.
Nah.
We're going to do it. Just like we're doing this right now, which is why I applaud you for doing what you're doing right now. People like momentum. They like to see things moving and shaking. People jump on things that are moving trains. Nobody wants to stand in line behind something that's not moving.
Right.
People get behind energy and they match your energy. Just like companies do company match when you do like salary deferrals and stuff like that.
Right.
It's the same thing in this world. I'm not going to match your energy if your energy is just like whack. You know what I'm saying? So industry matches energy. People match your energy. It may take a while, like Cornell is saying, but eventually it becomes undeniable.
It pays off.
Right.
Yeah, it becomes
You got to be
undeniable.
called, and you got to be a little crazy too.
Facts.
You know, and
That's good.
and you can't.
I
you-
definitely-
Yeah, you really can't let what others are doing determine what you do.
That's so
you know,
good.
because it may fall flat.
You will look crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
We all have stories
Oh, yeah.
of things that we've done to do. I mean, doing that Dream Launchers thing in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was a little crazy.
You know what I mean? Calling you December 21st.
Right.
You know what I
Get
mean?
it done
You know-
by Christmas Eve.
And we got it
Dropping
done.
it.
Got it done.
And
Right.
self-funded.
Self-funded.
We were splitting every balance in half just to
I
get it
hadn't
done.
put my IT degree in, you know, at work for a long time. Built a website in a
Right.
day. You
Sheesh.
know,
Yeah.
got it. You know, it streamed live on Christmas Day.
That was
I do
crazy.
remember
On
that.
on
We made
YouTube,
that happen.
on our website.
I didn't know how to, I didn't know how to
in
do that part.
4K.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, that's
crazy.
wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this, right? Because I've always been curious about the specifics of the business model when it comes to the music industry, especially when artists are working with managers. I've always heard the stories of like, you know, the different splits, the publishing, the masters, the writing, the royalties, the streaming. It's so many different like streams of avenue, but I never fully understood in detail how it all plays out. So how does the artist make money, and how do the managers make money, and what does that look like in terms of you know, metrics?
So in a modern day context, so you hear a lot of, you know, you hear a lot of demonization of the term like 360, right?
Right.
360 deals of the devil, right? Well, the thing of it is, you think of it in terms of a pie, right? So there are many avenues, there are many streams, there are many ways for an artist to make money through their likeness, through their art, through their recordings, through you know,
Performances, tour.
performances, touring, merch. So there's so many ways to make money as brand deals. So what a manager does is they sit as, of course, as a broker, as someone's a representative to get you in front of these companies, get you in front of these opportunities for you to make money. And a manager typically will make money from the gross earnings of the
procurement of
the artist. So, you know, and that can come through, let's say if you're a artist that's really a dope songwriter. So that may be a big line item, you know, in your income, because you're getting publishing, you're getting mechanical, and you're getting maybe sync licensing opportunities. But if you're a dope performer, you're on the road.
Right.
You know, so that's how you're making your money. You know, and then you may you may have like a creative bending towards, you know, style. You got a dope merch line, you know, so you give great emphasis to that. So you're selling product, you're selling hoodies, you're selling your swag. So our job is, of course, is to help, you know, an artist to really unlock, here are the ways to make money.
Right.
Now where are we focusing? You know, what are you really good at? What are you dope at?
Right.
And let's pair you with the right partner to, you know, amplify and scale, and make sure that you can make the most. Because this is the thing, a lot of independent artists, you know, they talk about control, but 100% of nothing
It's nothing.
is nothing.
Right.
So, you know, our job, we really are big on fair share. Man, you know, just fair share, and really set the artist up to win, in the different ways that you can win.
Right. Right. No, I love that. Yeah.
And setting them up ultimately as an income generating entity. At the end of the day, We want them to be able to be generating revenue streams, leading with their strengths, like Cornell mentioned. Whatever your strengths are, that's what we're taking to the bank first.
Right.
And it behooves us as managers because we get a percentage of whatever that is. But I love the pie example because it really comes down to contributions. What do we contribute? It's like writing a song.
Right.
And what did you bring to the table? If you brought this to the table, whether it's your money, your resource, time, talent, connections, whatever, your input, your sweat equity, all those things. And then we sit and we talk about that. And I love fair share because we're just having that conversation. And as long as no one's tripping, we have that understanding. We sit on the table. I don't care if it's a song. I don't care if it's a T-shirt. I don't care if it's a tour or a performance. That's why it's so important in business to put it in writing.
Right.
And to have an understanding in writing that you can always refer back to as your ledger, your law. Go back and say, this is what we said. And it can always be amendments and addendums and things. That's why relationship is really at the root of
That's
it.
the
You know what I'm saying? It's like, do we have a strong foundational relationship? Because if the chemistry's off, the paper won't mean nothing.
Yeah.
If somebody's like, screw that paper, you know what I mean? And so we've been blessed and fortunate that when we're giving contracts as managers, that we even advise our artists and whoever we're giving contracts to seek their own counsel, to bring, they should have an attorney. We have an attorney who's drafting these things. You should really take a hard look at it. And we go line upon line upon line. Because when you care, you treat people with that level of integrity and that level of respect.
Right.
But the percentages all have a lot to do with the contributions.
Gotcha.
Who's coming in the beginning of a lot of the people that we work with, we're coming out of our own coffers, pockets, doing whatever, because we believe as a company. So we sold just like Dream Launchers Christmas.
Right.
We paid for all of that. The artist didn't do anything. So for using that as an example, in a situation like that, if there's any recoupments of any kind, that would go to the people who are executively producing and paying and making it happen.
Right.
But we're still giving that artist a product to market and get their own benefit from, which I think is that fair share you talked about. It's like, hey, we pay for the session. So if there is any recoupments, then that case. But if it's your music, hey, let's release this. Hey, go put it out, and let's talk about what that could look like.
That goes back to the launching pad point that you made earlier, where it's like you guys are putting the money up front, you're bringing all these resources and surrounding the artist with different outlets and saying, all right, cool, we're going to identify your strengths and we're going to focus on these, but we're also going to put everything around you to help you be successful. So
Yes,
I love
produce you in your best light, which we always say. We want to present our clients in their best light.
Right. Yeah. So, and going back to the relationship piece, I admire the respect that you guys have for one another, because every time I'm talking to Jonathan on the phone, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to do this, that, and the third. He's like, all right, let me run it by Cornell. It's always, that's always the case. It's never like you running off and doing your own thing.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
So
Business
talk
partners.
to the that aspect of being actual partners.
Sure.
What does that look like? And do you guys have like specific titles that you guys work within, or what is that dynamic like between the two of you?
Well, I say, and man, it's really great to hear that as a partner, because this is the thing. Let's be clear. We are both high capacity leaders. We're both visionaries. We're both creatives. And we can literally LeBron it. You know what I mean? We can get it done without the loop in.
Right.
But man, we vowed together, that we realized like we're better together. Let's do it together.
Absolutely.
Because this is the thing. We both have done artist management separate from one another. And I just feel like, man, we're living in a day and age where everybody is just very kind of selfish and self-motivated, which is not a bad thing. Super ambitious, but I think the best things in life were done with more than one person involved. Collaborative, like we're collaborative leaders. So for me, I think we vowed to be humble, and just we vowed to just honor each other. We typically divvy the roles between creative vision and strategic vision, and we kind of stay within that. That's not to say that Jonathan can't speak into strategy. That's not to say that I can't really speak into creative. But that's kind of really been the sweet spot of really our focus and our engagement.
Yeah.
And I would say, and that's great. I would say that I like what you were talking about when you said like we could LeBron it. You think about basketball. I know that you like basketball, and think about the teams that have like that one domineering player. They don't tend to win as much as the teams that come together.
Facts.
Which is why they started like trying to create super teams and stuff like that
Spurs.
years ago. We're not going to get on a tangent, but essentially, what I would say is that we came together as whole men. That understood that the sidewalk is big enough for both of us. And it takes real people to realize, yes, I could do it all, but I'm better with more bandwidth.
Right.
I'm better if I can focus on a specific lane and I know this is my spot on the court. And just if you see me over there, pass that rock. You know what I mean?
Swing
But
that.
if you need to take a shot and the clock is down,
Right.
we
the shot.
trust each other to take the shot.
Right.
Yes, and we both can be very domineering in our own specific lanes, but I also, and again, this is kind of a spiritual principle, there's safety in the multitude of counsel. So yes, I can make a decision and say, hey, let's book that. Let's make it happen. But then there's somebody who's watching your blind spot. It's like, hey, we got this on the calendar.
Right.
Hey, think about our budget. Hey, think about what's coming down the road or this, or do we really want to do that? And so it's important to know what you're good at and what you suck at.
Right.
It's
right.
really important to know like what you're really
To know
great.
what you don't know.
You got to know what you don't. You got to know what you don't know. I think that's the quintessential thing about a leader or anybody in business is like, man, Cornell's strengths literally are like my weaknesses. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you have to be,
And vice versa.
You have to know that, like, man, like, and if you're not careful, and I think early on we had these discussions, it's like the thing that somebody's strength that's your weakness could annoy you when it shows up. So it's like, hey man, we got this session booked, and then the other person's like, nah man, we said we gotta do, like, man, you slowing down the momentum, bro. We gotta do this thing, and it's like, no, you're right, you know. And then when it pans out, you're like, oh, that we need to have both,
Right.
And you need to lean into that. So I would encourage anybody that you have to know, you have to have a team too. We build teams, but we model team.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? And so people like a Gabby Samone benefits greatly from having a management company that has she has two managers in essence, because so she may get one dynamic from Cornell, might get one dynamic from me. So she feels like, man, I got a squad, man. I get this
She
from
feels
John,
supported.
I get this from Cornell. I got everything that I need. And I think it's been a beautiful thing for our clients.
And the other thing I'll add is, you see two people represented here to get to today, but we're really a team of three. Man, our cheat code is God. So we are a company that is really rooted in prayer.
I love that.
We're a little backed up on our prayers, but because of the way
volume,
the way life happens. Life happens. I mean, I've become a father, even during this journey.
We were away when you found out.
Yeah, I was on business literally.
We were in LA.
Yeah,
We were in
It's
LA,
crazy,
and he
LA.
walked into the hotel
Yeah.
room and said, "Man, I'm about to be a dad."
Yep.
Sheesh.
Can you
Wow.
imagine that?
That's major.
Isn't that major?
Yeah.
So it's like, but man, on those prayer calls, man, we praying, for each other, like those goals of just being a father. But man, we pray for our clients. We pray for the strategy. We pray for our potential partners. So it's a company that's really our cheat code.
Right.
Is really just humbling ourselves, understanding that this isn't a work that we just desire to do. This is a work that we really feel called to do.
Right,
And to do it a certain way. Because we can, the business is dirty, it's grimy, but we want to be integral. We want to be, we want to do things in excellence. And that's really our brand. Our brand is excellence. Our brand is godly, and that's really, I would say, is what sets us apart and keeps us in the game. Because let's be clear, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do things together, especially when you're really talented. There have been times I was just like, I'm sure Jonathan has felt like, man, I could literally just do this. You know what I mean? And I can't reach Cornell. You know what I mean? There's times where I'm just like, man, I just want to do this. You know, I may not be able to get to the meeting, but let me just do it.
Right.
You know, so the collaborative nature of the method that we've really just committed to, I think, has in some ways is made it complicated, but I feel like it's made it more impactful because it lives beyond one person. It's a team of three.
Right.
And I would say also to lean into the tensions that rises in business relationships.
Gloves off.
Do you know statistically that 90% of partnerships in business fail?
Sheesh.
90%.
And they don't see year 5.
You know, but that's just that's a business
That's just
statistic.
business in
That's a
general,
general
right?
business statistic that most businesses
And this is
won't
year
survive
5 for us,
This
bro.
is going into year 5, and we're at stages where it was all birth.
Right.
So it's really
That's
powerful.
dope.
So once I realized the statistic, just like in any statistic, you're like, I want to be the outlier. I want to be the one that the statistic doesn't. Everybody kind of has that. But when you're aware of it, you're like, man, I'm aware of that. So I want to look and do an inward introspective search of the things within me that are a deterrent from a business partner wanting to work with me, you know? So I it could be in the middle of an intense moment of sharing in business, a business principle, an idea. It could be something personal. Hey, man, I didn't like the way you said this or whatever. And being mature enough as an adult and as a business professional to lean into that, to say, hey, man, are you good? Are we good? Are we okay? We're two guys, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we're both alpha guys. Like we have our opinions. We have things that we feel really strongly about.
Right.
But man, the most powerful thing to do is to relinquish that and to say, hey, how are we going to do it? I may not like it, but the partnership, we go so much further in the partnership than if I just went rogue alone. Even if I was right in that instant, I would get 10 miles down the road and I need gas if you follow that particular
Right. Or
analogy.
you might go 10 miles the wrong way.
Yeah.
10 miles the wrong way and then you really screwed.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I take great solace and joy in the partnership.
Nah.
And
I love that.
I champion that.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure working with you, brother.
Now I'm happy for y'all success and
Yes,
to be
sir.
sitting here right where it started.
Happy for yours
5
too,
years.
man.
Thank you.
We've all grown since Dream Launches
for
Christmas.
sure. I'm in front of the camera now.
Yeah,
That's
and we're gonna
crazy.
purchase stages, Evan, after this.
Yeah.
Okay, no, just
we're taking over the studio.
shout out to Evan. That's my guy. We've been working
for real.
together for many years, man.
Yeah. Evan's great. So we're coming up on time, but I can't let you guys leave out of here without
You singing a song? Go ahead.
I believe
Yes!
in
He did
miracles.
He's Dream Launcher and client.
Hey, you
Bring out the
got you got to
contract.
jump out the cliff.
360
sometime, man.
deal. Sign him up.
You got to launch
right now.
Yeah, man.
But no, man, I
nice
can't.
tone there too.
I can hold a few notes.
Okay.
You know, I can hold-
Well,
my
yeah.
dad's a drummer. I grew up in the church too.
Come on,
You know
man.
what I mean?
Testify.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Turn his mic up.
We minding y'all business today. But no, I can't let y'all leave here without. It's not even a question. I'm just gonna put a prompt out there.
Okay.
From Baltimore to
You said it right too. Soft T.
exactly. From Baltimore to American Idol.
That's crazy, right?
How you gonna just do us like that at the end?
Hey, I know.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta make
December
it quick.
21st.
You gotta make it quick. Give me the full
Man,
recap.
I mean,
of
the irony of it all
Goodness.
is, we had contemplated Idol as a team for many years. The opportunity for her to do it, was on the table. We opted to, as a team that, she didn't really want to go the game show kind of contestant based, kind of model for optimized exposure. So what we opted to do is to leverage some of our relationships in the industry to get her to the industry, to raise her profile and get her exposure. And that worked out very well. You know what I mean? It's been said, by her, fans in the comments, you don't even need to do this, girl. You already on your
don't
way.
need no
You
American
already a
Idol.
star.
I did see
You
some of
already
those
You already my idol.
yeah. So you hear all of that, and we've gotten a lot of criticism. Like, we've got some praise, and we got some criticism, letting a mammoth talent like Gabby, do this. But we felt like it was the right time, so we kind of encouraged her to get some more say in it, you know. So we told her, give Jennifer Hudson a call, see what she has to say about it, you know, see what she thinks.
Right.
You know, nothing but praise, encouragement for her to do it, and here we are.
Wow.
You know, and that's all we can really say.
Yeah. Well,
Here we are.
How does it feel, you know, to say, you know how in the movies they do that, sometimes they'll do that whole rewind thing to see where it started off from. How does it feel to know that, you know, it started right here in probably the same room?
Yeah, it was this room.
Yeah,
Hey,
you know, to
shout out
start
Dave.
here in Baltimore City, just with a dream.
Yeah.
You had a dream. You had an artist with, you know, phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
How does it feel to see all that hard work pay off and manifest itself on the highest stage?
It's funny. You start thinking about the little things, the breadcrumb things. It's the little things that become much. It's like the Warren Buffett penny stock kind of strategy of just like one, you know, compound interest,
Right.
you know. And it's like, I think about the days that it rained, and I promise you I'm not trying to be deep. I'm not going to quote a poem or nothing like that. But the days that it rained and we still showed up to the dance studio to practice. The days where most people would regard the clouds and not sow. And then because of that, they don't reap. It's like, hey, we still showing up. We meet every Monday faithfully for 4.5 going on 5 years with Gabby.
Wow.
She consistently shows up to her vocal sessions. So that over time, when you keep, you know, doing that, you eventually start seeing the, you know, what the world sees. They don't, when you peel back the layers, you
don't see
know
the
about this. That's
private
what I'm looking at.
preparation.
You
Right.
know
You
that
see
what
it.
goes on behind the scenes. And so the biggest thing is after you've been on a big stage like an American Idol or the Jennifer Hudson show, do you still show up to the gym on Monday
Right.
after the big game?
Yeah.
Most people don't. It's hard to win championships back to back
Yeah.
because of all that went into winning that first championship. You're like, man, I ain't trying to do that again.
Right.
But so I always, my meter is always like, man, whenever I'm on a big platform, I always think about the small one.
Right.
That's just how my mind is. I'm like, I can't wait till the Monday after. When I'm in, I don't care what stage or platform. When I get back off that plane, you can take your time with your family and you connect and all that, which is a very important work-life balance.
Right.
It's very important. And Cornell really, he models that very well. I have a lot of growth in that area. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm such a like, go. So sometimes I have to remind myself like, yo, you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take it easy for a little bit. But showing back up in that gym on Monday, it's like, yo, all right, back to the drawing board. All right, what's the next dream? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's very surreal. And just like food, you got to take your time and digest it. You gotta when you're there and you're in a
Take
room
it
like
in.
it, you gotta be like,
Enjoy
man, that's
the
Lionel
meal.
Richie, dog.
Right.
That's, you know, like,
Yeah.
yo, that's Jennifer Hudson, or man, I'm in LA, or, you know, I'm in whatever city or whatever's going on. It's just like, man, I'm actually here.
Right.
And so the blessing of helping these clients win and dream and lift is you get to enjoy the ride a lot of times with them. You
Right.
get to be in that vehicle. Sometimes you can be in the spaceship when it launches. Sometimes you're on the launch pad. You got to be at the home base.
Right.
You know. But we've been blessed specifically with Gabby that we've been able to be in the vehicle. And our goal is, and this is a shameless plug, we're looking for more dream launchers. If you have the ability and the desire to help people achieve their dreams and you're just doing it on your own, or maybe it's you and a crew, hit us up because we're really forming something really powerful here within the DMV.
Right.
And building a pipeline to the industry that doesn't currently exist the way that it does in other major thoroughfares where the entertainment industry exists. Baltimore has a lot of talent. And the DMV has a lot of talent. We don't have a lot of talent retention because there's not real estate for the talent. Now, we have stages, music and arts, okay? So we gave that shout out to stages. We don't want the mics to get cut off. But what I'm saying is that there's not a lot of talent retention and development, and people move to Nashville. I was talking to a buddy before this that I didn't even know they've been in Nashville for 2 years. They just was like, I've been in Nashville for 2 years. I thought they were still here. They done snuck out like the Baltimore Colts and moved to Nashville. You know what I'm saying? So
outta here.
yeah, said I'm out of here. We have Brittany Spencer. Shout out to Brittany Spencer. Told me one day after a studio session at Right Way, she said, I'm moving to Nashville tomorrow. I'm putting my guitar in my trunk and I'm in my car and I'm driving to Nashville. I said, no, you're not. Now she's a megastar. Why can't we establish, and this is my little soapbox rant on Mind Your Business, Why can't we have that here? So a part of our dream, because Dream Launchers has dreams, is to have a place where artists and creatives can be cultivated, go through the dream machine of being developed, can record, can do the contracting with the entertainment contracting and events, be managed, and not feel like I have to move somewhere where it can happen. That a dream, remember, because that sounds crazy because there's already entertainment hubs.
Right.
There's already LA. There's already New York. There's already Nashville.
So
there's already
why do
Atlanta.
it?
Why do it? Just move there.
Right.
But how can we be dream launchers and not have the biggest dream of all, which is to establish something right here in our area that changes lives forever and ever. You know what I'm saying? And really establish legacy. So that's our first time saying that
Absolutely.
publicly
Right.
or for public consumption. But I'm doing that on purpose because I want this to serve as a milestone for when it happens, we got the receipt.
Right.
And who better to hear that
Hey,
than you, Mace, here on
that's what
Mind Your Business.
That's what I'm here for, man. To give brothers like this a platform.
Thank you, man.
And you guys are building a platform that's literally launching dreams, right? So I know we gotta get up out of here. Stage is about to kick us out.
Okay.
But I want
You
to
want to kick a freestyle real quick before you go?
Man, you already know what it is. So when I step up, it's like no.
I was ready. You
that's
know,
the old
Evan's
Mace.
stage ready to record.
Nah,
He hit the
nah,
button.
nah, nah.
His track is on.
Spacebar.
You will have a song by tomorrow.
That's the old Mace right there. That was pre-saved Mace. We're not gonna talk about that guy. But yeah,
BC.
so yeah.
There you go.
I always like to have my guests leave out and give a word of wisdom. So anybody who is a aspiring artist, aspiring entrepreneur, somebody who wants to be in the entertainment industry like you all, what is your advice to them?
I'll go while you. Okay. You have it. You can go. Okay. See, management partnership.
Right.
50-50. Find your board of directors.
Man, he stole my site.
For real. Oh. Find your board of directors. Okay. You're only going to grow as high as your depth. All right. So that means I'm looking at the right camera. That means find who is doing what you're doing at a higher level than you and get to them quickly and let them know they are your mentor. Ask them questions, put yourself in their rooms, be the quote unquote dummy in the room. Ask questions, do not be afraid. Because if once you build that, you can grow and you can take others with you. If you become stagnant and you try to do it by yourself, you will get stuck. Find that board of directors, find your mentors, and get yourself a team. And we're offering our services and ourselves. We are that. I'm saying the shameless plug here, the unshameless plug. We are that team for you. But you have other folks around you that want to help you, want to pour into you. I have that. I know Cornell has that. We wouldn't be the men that we are. We wouldn't be able to help the clients that we help if we didn't have that. So find your board of directors.
I would say enjoy the process, but stay committed to the process, and just know that it's a journey that you should enjoy, and that on that journey it's going to be full of highs and full of lows, but don't get too high with the highs. Don't become an applause addict, Don't become someone that just lives for the standing ovation, but enjoy the process. But on the flip, also don't get too low with the lows, and don't become a casualty of critique, and that reading the comments and just everyone thinks they can coach you from the sidelines differently. But it's your process, it's your journey, and you should enjoy it, because if you're not having fun doing it, and if you're not doing it authentically, and you're not becoming and learning and growing, they're not L's, they're lessons. And it's a journey that you should enjoy. Stay committed to it, and do the work. Show up to do the work. And man, it'll pay off.
I love that. Love that. Truly words of wisdom from two wise men. Where can people, that was a nice little bar.
I was talking about Christmas, 3 wise men.
Not
You said,
three.
well, you want to do another one, another Dream Hunters Christmas.
-1.
I'm listening.
Wise man.
I hear you.
I gotta plug myself
Add
too,
one
you know
more
what I mean?
wise man and we back here again this Christmas.
Where can people follow you guys, contact you guys, and book you guys?
I'm anonymous on social media. So
Follow him at Anonymous.
No, I'm on socials. I'm on IG. You can follow us at Dream Launchers Inc. on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, mydreamlaunchers.com, www.mydreamlaunchers.com. Man, we'd love to do a consultation with you. We'd love to sit with you, strategize with you, and dream.
Cool. So I really appreciate y'all for coming out. Thanks for sharing your words of wisdom. Thanks for giving us the whole background and history of Dream Launchers. Wishing you much success in the future, and excited to see where you guys take it from here. Yeah. So if you guys want to be in this seat right here, we want to mind your business as well. So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at Mind Your Business Show. And make sure you tap in and send us an email if you want to hear your story. Make sure you tap in with my personal brand, MACEO_Tendaji, and tap in with the production company, IKONIC_Visions. And until next time, we're going to continue to mind your business.